He will. He's done it again.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions. Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Quick conversations with King Drew Millions.
Let's chop it up.
What's happening, family? We're here again with another episode of Quick Conversation with King Drew Millions. It's your boy, Mr. Quick.
And I'm King Drew Millions.
And we got another special guest, man. You know what I'm saying? He's a celebrity bodyguard, ex-Marine, a tactical trainer, bodybuilder, physical trainer, whole 9 yards. We got my boy, Big Shep in the building. What's up, Big Shep?
What's going on, man? Appreciate y'all for having me. You know what I'm saying? Glad to be here. Happy to be here, man. Catching up.
Man, the pleasure's all ours, man. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
We're in the presence of greatness, you feel me? For real.
Likewise.
Appreciate you for pulling up, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, we just want to get to know you a little bit better, you know what I'm saying? Then we're going to get off into a little quick conversation, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, we see you got some size on you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't no city boy.
Before we get started, this is brought to us by Keep It P Clothing.
Keep it P, and we are here in the Opportunity Center, you know what I'm saying? Welcome everybody. Yeah. My bad, I skipped that. You know, we unscripted, so everything out the dome.
We raw and authentic. We just go with the flow, but I do want people to know, you know, this is put on by the
professional brand.
Professional brand, and the community center is the outreach program to kids who are in situations where they can't go to regular school. So they're able to come here and they're able to get an education, get their diploma, and pick up some life skills. And that's what a lot of our interviews, we show them to the kids and let them meet or see people that come from different backgrounds and very similar backgrounds to them. So we appreciate you for coming and talking. I know a lot of stuff we're going to talk about is going to be relatable to at least one person here.
Right. So, at least one. So, sure, I'm going to get back to it. You know what I'm talking about? Now that my boy did the little disclaimer. Appreciate you, baby.
Hey, man.
You know
I'm an alley-hoop. We're going to slam dunk it.
For real. It's a team effort. You know what I mean? But, Big Shep, man, I know you're not from the city, but you reside in the city. So, tell the people where you from, man.
Man, I'm originally from Carthage, Texas, man. Small town, man.
That's what that white dude that he was the funeral director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Black played him in the movie.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Okay.
So a funeral director, he killed his old lady.
Wow.
And he put her in the freezer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what part of Texas is this?
Carthage, Texas. East Texas. So I'm about 2.5 hours outside of Dallas and about an hour from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
We right there on the border, matter of fact, close.
So it's country out there? Like,
did you know him?
Yeah, very country out there.
Did you know him? That's what I want to
He
know.
say, did you know him?
No, man. I mean, I probably crossed paths with him a couple times, but he was way older than I was. You know, back then, I was young. I was young, and I was in middle school when that all happened. Because I definitely remember, small towns when things like that happen. It's gonna be all over the news.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a big deal, but I didn't know a lot of the details until I got older and seen the movie.
And really understood it. You're
really
like, I grew up there.
Right.
Dang, that's crazy.
Right. Bro was driving the lady car. He was cool with everybody in the town pretty much. Like they loved
so he probably
it.
shook his hand a time or two.
Maybe, you know what I'm saying? But in even this day, they're still, champion for that man to get out. I'm not sure if he's free or not. I haven't really kept up with it, but it was
So he was found guilty, but people still want him free?
Man, he just had a hold of the community. He was just a likable guy, man. People liked him, and he was did stuff in the community, very active in the community, in the church, and people loved him. And the lady that he God bless the dead, the lady he did it to,
the town didn't really like
the town didn't. She was a mean old lady to everybody.
Dang, that's cold.
So, but I forget the name of the movie. But if you wanna It's a movie starring Jack Black. So if you really want to catch up with that, go check out the movie. It's gonna give you all the details. Tell you a little bit about Carthage. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's where I was born and raised.
That's crazy. Yeah, I heard they had to move the trial to another city.
They had to move the trial. I want to say they moved it to Longview, which is another city over. Just because, you know, if they was gonna pick a jury of your peers, all his peers liked it.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
they had to move him to another county where, you know, the people didn't know who he was.
Right.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work.
Yeah.
Well, what made you come to Houston, man?
Man, listen, so it wasn't even, Houston wasn't on my mind until about 2016.
So were you an adult already, or that's what?
So I joined the Marine Corps when I was 18 years old. So right out of high school, I graduated in May. I was supposed to leave to go to boot camp in September, but September 11th happened. So they had to push my date back.
That didn't make you say, you know what?
But
this ain't something. So did you always want to go, or that was just something you did, like typical, like I just need to do something because I don't want to go to college, or?
I knew college wasn't a thing for me.
And so
you know what I'm saying? I just happened to see a dude in a uniform, and we started chopping it up, and then he, you know, went to his office. But I knew I didn't want to join the Navy because I had a cousin that was in the Navy, I had a cousin that was in the Army, and I think I had some more cousins in the Air Force.
So what stood out with the Marine Corps?
Nobody would do it, and everybody that I would ask, they'd be like, "You crazy? Don't do that." That made me want to do it more. I'm that type of person. If you tell me not to do it, it's gonna make me want to do it more.
See, I couldn't go to the military because I ended up catching a little old case or what have you.
Yeah,
you know
we
what
all
I'm
did.
saying? But my dad was in the Air Force. My grandmother, his mother was in the Air Force.
Right.
Her father was in the Army. So I would have been, you know what I mean, fourth generation going to the military, but they wasn't having me, man. They wasn't having me.
Well, that's what we're working on now. I got, you know, my son, he's, you know, second generation. He's,
That's what's up.
Stationed in Camp Pendleton, you know, just got promoted to Lance Corporal.
And what's the question? So you do promote people
going to the military?
Absolutely, 100%. Like I said, bro, I left when I was 18 years old. Went into the military and didn't look back. Like, best decision I made, hands down.
Real time.
Best decision ever.
That's what's up.
So you say you, not to cut you off, but you say you, so September 11th happened, so you had to push it back.
So it got pushed to October. So I didn't leave until October. Now, when September 11th happened, I remember my recruiter calling me. I'm 18 years old. Right. You know, I'm just...
But you were aware about it when he called you.
So at this time, I'm working at this cup factory making plastic cups until I get ready to leave.
Not the red Solo cups, huh?
Not even the red Solo cups.
Oh man,
this was a competitor to them.
Wow,
you know what I'm saying?
How you working for the bootleg, Rick?
Bro.
I'm definitely going to. I'm going. Hey, you ready? Oh, okay, I got to get out of here.
So, bro, going to this job every day, bro. It's like I was working around zombies. Everybody went to work. Everybody went.
But that was in the that was in the town you was from.
It was in the town where I was from. It's one of the few jobs that you can get and kind of ride it out for 20 years and get retirement. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the few jobs that you know people was able to get out of high school with no college degree. And so and I was working there. I remember, you know, I'm an 18-year-old kid, so I'm lively, you know, I'm you know, active, moving around, and so everybody they grown, man, they just eating their lunch. Yeah, they just depressed. You know, the little bell ring, everybody go to lunch at the same time, and everybody go back to work at the same time. And so I remember going into the break room, and I remember looking at, you know, walking in. I'm like, what y'all looking at? What movie is this? And I'm looking, I see a plane hit the tower.
Oh.
And I see another plane hit the tower, and I'm like, what is that? And it was like, they just hit the World Trade Center building. Somebody telling me this. I'm like, what's the World Trade Center?
Right.
And then, you know, and it was like, yeah, you know, it's this and this. At that time, I, you know, in one ear, out the other, whatever. I don't understand what y'all saying. So I go home. My recruiter called me. He's like, "Hey man, I just want to make sure you still looking forward to going to boot camp, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Like, why you calling me, bro? I thought we already talked about this."
He like, you ain't seen what's going on.
He thinking I know, but like I said, 18-year-old kid in the country, and I don't know what they got to do with anything. So, and later on, October, I left October 10th, 2001, and went to boot camp. And soon as I got to boot camp, that made me very aware what was going on in the world and where I was going to end up. So.
So did you actually go to Iraq?
Oh yeah, definitely. Ended up there several times.
Yeah.
So was that you? I know I'm looking on your Instagram. When you put me, you was doing some push-ups or something. So that was you.
Yeah. So I was a drill instructor at that point.
Oh, so that was you yelling at the kids.
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I kind of know you for something like that, you know. We'll get into that a little later, you know what I'm saying? For real. But, I mean, how many tours did you do?
So I ended up doing like 3 or 4 combat tours.
Wow.
3 or 4 combat tours. It was at one point that we were rotating every 6 months. Come on for 6 months, go back for 6 months.
Yeah.
Go on for 6 months, come back for 6 months. So I did that from about 2004 to about 2007. And once I came back in 2007, then that's when I decided to go and be a drill instructor and do the boot camp thing.
So who was president then? It was.
So at that time, it was.
Because how many presidents you served under?
It was Bush, Obama, and then I think Obama might have been the last one. Just maybe just Bush.
You
and
retired?
Obama. Yeah.
Okay.
Bush and Obama. So, and what's the crazy thing is during the initial push, Bush was in office. So we had, the rules of engagements was a little bit more different. We had, less strings attached. The beginning of the war was chaos. I mean, it was people bringing their own guns over there. It was people bringing their own ammo because, the people wanted to get a kill with their personal weapons. So you had,
So that's actually a thing.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was like the Wild Wild West over there. I mean, it was wild. It was war, and and it's hard to explain people what that actually looks like because people can only think about what they've seen in movies.
Right.
But it's hard to, make it into a reality where people can be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's. But
Yeah,
it's
because
just.
I didn't really understand it until I got in law enforcement, and I work with a lot of people that's still active and not active, and I work with a lot of people that did serve a few tours. And when they explained it to me, we on a personal setting talking just amongst each other, and I'm like, man, it's really that crazy.
It gets crazy, and it gets crazier. But
I mean, okay, not to cut you out, but would you like to share one of the craziest things that you've seen?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends what y'all want the kids to see.
I mean, we still want to keep it, manageable.
We want to
but
keep it
yeah.
manageable, but these kids out here living their own.
I mean, shoot, they packing switches and you know what I'm saying, drums and 30 clips. And,
well, I will say this before you give us a story. This I do tell kids that if you doing it over here for nothing, do
why
it for
not go
something.
to the military
Serve a
and do
purpose.
it? Yeah.
Serve a purpose.
You can go to the military and get whatever gun, or go wherever you want to go and do these things, and
real.
be honored for it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just hanging around here doing it for dimes on a penny or.
Like I was telling them, I say, shoot, the recruiter need to come to the kids and tell them, look here, man, we're gonna give you a bust down Cuban, we're gonna give you a scat pack and an AR, man. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, that is like
but they doing it for less, though.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
doing it for
So,
less.
like, if you give them that incentive, bro, they down with it.
Yeah.
For real.
But see, that's the thing. if they get that incentive, a lot of them don't see past that incentive. You know what I'm saying? Which
Yeah.
that's the goal, is teaching you to see into the future.
Mm.
You know, some kids, they see the incentive and they think it stops there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of seeing, okay, it's more to go. Even once you get this, there's still a lot more things that you can accomplish. Just as like, there's a lot of kids that's infatuated with these guns. I'm like, listen, you can go into the military and be an armorer. You'll be around guns all day, every day. You'll see more guns than you care to imagine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just sitting them down and explaining to them, you can do this, but before you get there, you got to go through boot camp. You got to humble yourself. You know, it's phases you have to go through before you can get to that, because, you just got to understand that, just like law enforcement, you got to have that T-code peace officer license before you can be a peace officer, right? So, you can't just, there's certain things you got to learn about the law before you can carry a badge and a gun.
Right.
And the same thing with the military. Before, they give you whatever patch that you're going to earn, you got to go through the hard part first.
But the key word you just said is earn. They don't want to earn nothing.
Right.
That's where the real problem come in at, because even with the stories and everything that you do, you earning it.
Right.
And that's the toughest part about and understanding everything is safety too. Because I recently took a long gun class so I can carry a long gun, and so the first day wasn't even no bullets, no guns. It was just talking.
Right.
Second day, guns, no bullets. You know what I'm saying? We just putting it together, putting it back together, putting it together, taking it, cleaning
they want
it.
you to be fully
You know what I'm
prepared
saying?
for what you finna, you know what I'm saying, face when you get out in them streets.
But imagine, like you say, immature 18, 19-year-old, they just want to get it carried, make it look cool.
Right.
But it's like,
Yeah, and even for the average person out there, you go to an 8-hour class, it's not enough. It's not enough for you to carry that pistol and intelligent be able to use it and to decipher when and when not to use it.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. And so I teach a self-defense class Mondays and Wednesdays and every other Friday, and we go to the range once a month. And so we treat it just like you would jiu-jitsu or martial arts. Or, we start with the beginner phase, intermediate, and advanced, right? So the first day of this class, we're just going over the characteristics of this pistol. And I want you to get used to handling this pistol to the point where you're tired of it. Because when you're tired of holding this pistol, that's when I'm going to see the mistakes, right? That's what I need to correct. I need to correct the mistakes. I don't need to see you when you're fresh and you're happy. I need to have you holding that gun until you get tired of it.
Yep.
So I can see the mistakes so that I can correct those mistakes.
Yeah.
And so, and that's how we move throughout, once we from beginner, immediate to advanced, we start out slow and then we get to moving and then we get to moving and shooting and we get more and more advanced, if their skill set allows them to.
Right.
Because you can't process information faster than you can act.
Right.
So it's about being able to process information and being able to know what to do with that information. So that's why we start out slow, because I can get you to draw your pistol in a second and a half, but now if you draw that pistol, you got to be able to acquire the sights, sight alignment, sight picture, all that is data. All that is getting that data and knowing what to do with it, right? Knowing when and when not to shoot, things of that nature.
Speaking of that data, man, I may have misquoted you on your timing or whatever, but I said that you can draw your pistol from your holster and hit the D on the Dr. Pepper in less than 5 seconds.
Way less than 5 seconds.
Okay,
Way less than 5
my
seconds.
bad, public. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, a couple times in 5 seconds.
Oh, man. Okay, my bad, man. My bad, y'all. You're a cold man.
Somebody gonna be like, that ain't nothing.
No, for real. 5 seconds is a long time for you, I guess.
Not when bullets is flying over your head.
But like, okay, does when you're in a situation like that, does time actually like kind of slow down, like with the adrenaline rushing and everything like that? It may seem like it took forever, but it went by real quick.
Yeah, you have a heightened sense of everything when those situations arise. You know, it's like, I don't know if the adrenaline has something to do with it, but like in certain situations, like you can just notice the smallest
So
things.
this where we get the story, because we ain't forgot about the
Oh,
story.
You thought you got biased with that one. Yeah, I was waiting on it. For real.
Let me see. Let me think of something kid friendly.
Right. Well, I mean, it ain't got to be super.
It ain't gotta be
duper watered
PG-13,
down.
you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean?
I mean, one of the things that sticks out to me the most was seeing a dog running around with an arm in his mouth.
Wow.
A stray dog just running around with an arm in his mouth. Just like that stuck out to me the most. And like,
I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy how you just presented that, because I just knew I was gonna get like some.
Nah, for real.
Some G.I. Joe.
You know what I'm saying? Major pain, something, you know what I'm saying? Hit a bullet out my heart. You know what I'm saying?
I just knew I was finna get like
For real.
some James Bond 007. But when you say, I'm like, man, that is real.
I mean, because dogs are pretty much lightweight scavengers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for the dog to be able to obtain a human being's, limb like that.
and not only that, but think of how long that body has to be sitting there for that dog to just pull that arm off that body and just run off with it. So, I mean,
so you posted up, and then you see a stray dog just running.
I mean, as you convoy through cities, like sometimes you'll go through a city that that a unit has already been in there and already had several firefights in the city, and you just kind of passing through, and you're seeing the aftermath. And the aftermath of this, bodies laying everywhere. You got stray dogs chewing on bodies, and you got kids out there. It's just, like I said, man, no matter how much I try to explain it, it's just, it's hard to get people to see that.
Yeah.
And to internalize it and kind of, it made me appreciative of life. It made me appreciative of living in America, because I get that all the time. People be like, "Oh man, I can't wait. I'm gonna move here, move there," and I just be like, "Listen, man,
it ain't all what they say. Grass ain't always green.
Man, listen, no matter how bad it is over here, it's always better than just about everywhere else in the world."
Real talk?
Yeah, real talk.
That's
Real
crazy
talk.
work, man.
Real
I mean,
talk.
because I showed and thought about it at the time. As a matter of fact, I was just telling my mom this past weekend, I was like, man, I think I might move to London or something.
Yeah, but it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Man, listen.
So where all have you been? Oh, what you finna say?
So I live. So I was in the Marine Corps for 13 years. Got out of the Marine Corps, and then I went back overseas to work as a government contractor. So we did some covert stuff. I can't really give all the details because we got guys still over there that's working. But we worked with a government training their Secret Service and training some of their guys over there, and in doing that, I mean, like I said, I lived outside the U.S. for like 5 years, living in the Middle East, and I mean, this first couple years is cool because it's just a new place to you, but then after the honeymoon phase, it's like, all right, man, I'm
ready to go back
You're
home.
Yeah, I'm ready to go
ready
back
to go.
home, man.
I done ate all the food, lived in all the places.
Seen all the ladies I want to see.
I was just gonna
say.
seen all the women.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
it just gets to a point where it's like, man, I just want to be around people that I can talk to, like, and that's another thing that people take for granted, being able to communicate with somebody that understands you, right? Because you go overseas and you talk to people and people know English, but it's hard to be like, it's hard to use sarcasm and be sarcastic and like.
Right.
Kind
And
of
they
They
tell.
don't joke the way
understand
you
where
They
you're
joke.
don't
from.
joke
Yeah.
the way I joke. You know
Because
what
it's
I'm
kind of
saying?
like us. We go somewhere for probably vacation for a week, and then we
Right.
come back home. we cool with that, but to be stationed there, staying there, and
Yeah,
just
bro.
day after day, I can see that.
For example, so we would have interpreters, that would follow us around and kind of, you know, talk for us in a certain situation. When we would be teaching, we would have the interpreter close by because, like, I want the interpreter to interpret exactly how I'm saying it. Because if you say it any different, then the kid's gonna think I'm being nice to him. But I want you to use my same rise and deflection of my voice. If I'm mad, I want you to be mad. So the interpreters, they help. They can be very helpful. But they have to buy into what you're saying because I want my message delivered just like I'm saying it.
Right.
I don't want you to try to dumb it
Downplay
down.
it.
No. Say it
Don't
just like
sugarcoat
I'm
it.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So but then every once in a while you would kind of say something like, I'll come up on a kid that's doing something like we not supposed to be doing. I'm like, you're smoking crack, and my interpreter is like, he don't know what to say. He was like, cracks. What is this cracks? What do you mean cracks? I'm like, Fadi, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. And he's trying to, in his mind, a crack is like what's in the wall.
Like your
What's crack on the
slang
ground?
and he don't get it. Right. He like,
So
what?
he don't understand it, and then I have to pull him to the side, like, look, like, and I explain to him what crack is, and I have to explain to him what people do when they smoke crack, and I had to explain it. I do a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
So when I say it,
So
he'll
you gotta explain to
light bulb goes off.
light bulb goes off.
That's crazy.
So a lot of the times, and then
So you double working basically. You gotta
Double
explain
working.
to the interpreter what you want them to say, but they not gonna say it because they don't understand it. Then they
Right.
understand it. Then they say it. Then you're like, can you say it in a different tone?
right, and not only that, but then they try to use it. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So now they think it's cool.
Right.
You're like, nah.
Yeah, no.
That's wild, man.
Man,
That's
that is a
wild.
different perspective
for
of it.
real.
I mean, because I do watch a lot of army. I don't know why I'm infatuated with like old, like King movies,
Yeah.
King and Queen, and I'm infatuated with a lot of army movies. Like my wife be mad. She like, this is all you like sit up here and watch. But I'm getting it from the movie perspective. I'm not getting it from like
is Wharf really like we see it in movies?
Worse.
It's worse.
It's a lot worse because you get drawn into it, but then you turn the movie off and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
But it ain't no turn the
But
movie
it
off.
ain't when you're there. It ain't no turning the movie off. It's you're there. So I'll give you one story. So this is like at the beginning of the war. This is when so first we're in Kuwait.
Okay.
So when George Bush Jr. gives us the go ahead to go into Iraq, that's when we start our convoy from Kuwait into Iraq. Right. So now, as we're rolling into Iraq, once it's dark, all the lights go off. So
Now no street lights in there?
no, I mean we turn off the lights on the vehicles.
Okay.
So we rolling dark. We riding MVGs. That sound cool until you put them on and you have no depth perception.
Right.
So now you're rear ending each other. But then not only that, but we're moving. We maxing these trucks out. They can only go like maybe 70, 65, 70. We maxing them out. Now, if you don't stay a certain distance to the truck in front of you, the dust, we in the desert. There ain't nothing but dust everywhere. Right. So, it gets dusty. And so through your night vision goggles, there's these little cat eyes that we have on the back of the truck that you can only see through your night vision goggles. But once the dust starts kicking up, you kind of lose it. So now you're trying to squint. You got these goggles on. You're trying to see. All of a sudden you see bam, because you ain't got no depth perception. So and then or either that, or you can be seeing this truck and it disappear. You don't know if they made a right or a left. So you really gotta be on your P's and Q's because you can get lost out there. End up by yourself in the middle of nowhere.
So you have to be a very good communicator.
Very good communicator. You gotta be paying attention. You gotta be on your P's and Q's. But so we convoyed into Iraq, and we were there before Bush gave the.
Oh, so y'all was already.
Yeah, we were already there waiting to go in.
Hey man, that's TTG. You know what I'm saying? Trying to go.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
That's the Marines for you. You know, we were
real
always the
tough.
first ones to go in, and so now we get to the point where we're sitting up, like, you know, we're refueling stations, so helicopters will come in and refuel, things of that nature. So I'm standing on top of this refueler truck, and at this time mortars were really bad. There was nail in the base with mortars. So I'm standing on top of this fuel truck, and I hear this whistling sound. I look, and I can see this mortar just floating over the top of my head.
Oh, shit.
And I'm just watching it, and it hit the ground and blow up.
Oh.
So now it blows up, knocked me off the truck, knocked me and my buddy off the truck. So I fell off the truck, I hit the ground. We jump up, we look at each other, and we just take off running.
Oh.
Yeah,
And this
we
is
just
real.
we
Real
just take
time.
our running. We go inside the little shack that they had us in. So we go in there. So when this happened, you immediately got to go put on your flak and Kevlar. You know what I'm saying? And because that's the only thing that's gonna protect you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put on your flak, Kevlar until you get all clear. And so that was probably one of the closest calls that I've had. I had some other close calls too, but it's
Did you develop PTSD after you got out?
Yes, yeah. I mean, there was a certain form of PTSD I had, and that was like so the PTSD I experienced is every time that I seen trash on the side of the road, I would get nervous. And I would, to the point where in the beginning I would swerve, because over there, if you see trash, if you see a tire, if you see anything on the side of the road, it's got a bomb in it. You know, that's because that's how they taught us. They was like, listen, because back then roadside bombs was a big thing.
Wow.
You know, they would take artillery shells and bury them right underneath the dirt, and they'll put like some trash or something over it, and you know, either you'll roll over it and it'll detonate, or they'll detonate it using a cell phone signal far away somewhere where they can see it, and they'll call it, and the signal will detonate the artillery shell, and it'll blow up that way. Then they got more advanced. They had daisy chain, or roadside bombs, but anyways, that's one of the biggest things that that stuck out to me when I got back, is like things on the side of the road. It will make me nervous.
Shoot, you definitely didn't need to go to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, all that trash on the side of the street.
Yeah,
Up there, man.
and not only that, but hands. That's another thing they taught us. Like, you always had to see hands.
Right.
Always had to see hands, because if the hands was in their pocket, you don't know, they could be detonating something. They could have on a suicide vest.
Yeah.
So hands was a big one, to the point where I got back, like, it would be hard for me to go to places like Walmart and HEB, because it was just too much going on. It was too many hands I couldn't see,
Right.
too many things I couldn't control. Because at the end of the day, I think PTSD is all about being able to control your surroundings. And when you can't control your surroundings, then your brain is just, it doesn't know what to do. Because when you over there in that situation, you control everything.
Right.
You know, if a person is not compliant, you'll make them comply.
Right.
You know, control. It's all about having control. And once you don't have that control, then I think that kind of triggers.
I honestly just had that conversation with my wife. We kind of been having some little rocky moments. And one day, I was just right. Everything you just explained, I called my wife. I said, babe, like, I think I'm not really a controlling guy, but to go to work every day and my job is about me controlling the narrative, turning that switch off, and then, I'm waking up, throwing the uniform, going to work, and it's all about being in demand, being in control, showing up. I'm the one going to figure out what's going to happen at the end of the day. And I was like, man, like, it's hard to,
So basically what you're saying is, when you're not in control, you're overwhelmed. And that's what
Yeah,
kind of
that's crazy. No, that's
Right,
yeah.
right. Because when I first got back, like simple things like you know, like making decisions was like a big thing. Because like once you're over there, you have to make a decision. You guys constantly be making a decision. So once I get back and something like, babe, what you want to eat, and I'm like, let's pick something,
Right.
and then how it goes with women.
Yeah,
Well,
but and then it triggers you.
and
like,
then it
man, I
triggers
don't-
you, and it's like, listen,
And I don't care what we eat.
I don't care, but yeah, no, it's definitely a control issue, not in a bad way,
Right.
because people all, especially when a man talks about control, people automatically,
Think you're narcissist.
Yeah,
that type of stuff.
yeah.
But that's not the case. I'm not, like you said, I'm not a controlling person, but sometimes I'm in environments where I have to be in full control.
Yeah.
So it's not easy to turn that off.
So working where I met you was a perfect place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because working with these kids, man. Matter of fact, how did you start working with kids,
Bro, trust me.
with all the life experiences that you had, like what brought you to working with at-risk youth?
Man, listen, I always say this. It had to have been God, man. It was something that God wanted me to do. Something that I need to be humbled and do. That's the only thing I think of, because everybody who I talk to, and I tell them, I used to work with kids. They be like, what? How'd you end up? And I say the same thing. Like, I don't know how I ended up doing it, but I ended up doing it. And I was good at it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time
Man,
there.
them kids respected you, feared you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Loved you, all of the above,
Yeah,
bro. Because
yeah.
me and you was on the same unit.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? We was
right.
on the same. So,
Yeah.
like when we came in together, bro, the lady, she was like, yeah, look who I just hired. I'm looking, I'm like, man, me and him finna be doing the same job. Nah, man, this ain't for me, man.
I don't think you showed me.
I don't think I'm cut out for this.
I didn't put that on my application.
For real, but bro, we had the perfect team coming in because, you know what I'm saying, like I was more of a converser, you know what I'm
And that's
saying?
when
I
y'all
could
was
relate
working
with the
downtown
kids.
at the juvenile detention center.
Yeah, man.
And that's when I learned there's more ways to to go by correcting, because my way of correcting is one way.
No, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy because because I never been to the military, but I've been a cop for a decent amount of time now. But when specifically one dude told me, he said, Scott, the hardest part about the transition, he was like, because when they put this particular dude, they put him in like a slow area. He old. He been in the military. He done did some tours.
Yeah.
He done got his hands dirty or whatever.
Right.
He say, what they don't understand is what my mind like. It's basically, I'm coming to kill. Like that's basically what he's saying. He's like, I'm coming to kill. I'm coming to fight. I'm not trying. He say it's hard to sit here and like work through situations with people, and that's a big issue for a lot of military guys coming into law enforcement, transitioning, because we for the people.
Right.
It's like, I know you, even when people committed crime, like even when they commit a crime, they can murder somebody or stab somebody, you show up. So they even got it now where they want us to bandage them up and resuscitate them and help them to EMS get there.
Right.
He's like, no, so my hat goes off to
Nah, for real, bro, because you the closest thing that I know of that's like Major Pain, bro. I love that movie when I was a kid, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, that boy Tiger was the man, man, when he ended up being the drill instructor at the end of the movie, man.
Oh, so you like Orlando Brown?
No, I like that role because you gotta think, man, I was around the same age, about on the same size, so I'm like, man, that could be me.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
For real, man. But bro, I honestly say, man, to know you, bro, over all these years, bro, you have really become a dear friend of mine, bro.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Likewise, man. And, we've been down for a minute, man.
Yeah,
since
man.
day one, bro.
Yeah, literally since day one, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, from when the lady introduced us, bro, we was like tight from then, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm still been telling me, I'm finna hit that gym, bro. I'm finna get right, bro. I'm finna hit that gym, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm still halfway in, halfway out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's how we all start. You know what I'm saying? When I tell people like,
So how did you get into bodybuilding? Like, so you because of the military or like what got you?
So I was always a skinny kid. People don't believe me, but you know when I tell people like everybody think, oh, I was fat and then I got big. I was never fat. I was a skinny kid growing up. Like gaining weight was the hardest thing for me to do.
Yeah.
The hardest thing, and what really set it off is when I went through boot camp and I was eating and I was training every day. I actually gained weight in boot camp.
Okay.
You know, just for the eating and training. And once I got out of boot camp, then you know I started going to the gym here and there, and then I got stationed in Okinawa, Japan. So it wasn't nothing else to do when you get off from work. You know, especially where I was at. So once you get off from work, it was either you stayed in your room all day and drink, or, you know, matter of fact, when I first got to Japan, this dude put me to the side. He was like, you're going to be three things here on this island. You're going to either be an alcoholic, a Bible thumper, or a bodybuilder.
So you chose bodybuilding.
It chose me.
Yeah.
It chose me.
Definitely I don't want to be no alcoholic.
Nah, for real.
It chose me. So, you know, I would see these guys in the gym, and you know, they, you know, of course, they were older than I was, way bigger than I was, and I was just like, you know, talk to them, be like, bro, how'd you do this and how'd you do that, and you know, and everything was consistent coming up. Everybody told me the same thing, bro. You gotta eat, you gotta eat, you gotta eat. And I'm like, man, I'm eating.
Bro, this man was eating a half a chicken, bro, when I met him, bro.
A chicken?
Bro, a half a chicken, broccoli, and rice.
Oh yeah, I was deep in when I was
I'm
deep
like,
in.
man,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You gonna eat this every day?
Yeah.
I
Wasn't the
don't eat for
Jumanji
taste.
going?
I eat for function. I'm like, what? Nah, for real, bro. And I remember first time me and this man went out, man. We walking down Main. You know what I'm saying? And he walking. And some dude just roll by, man, how much your bench press? He say, your mama. I say, sure, bro. It's a car full of dudes, bro. They finna draw down. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Cold.
I'm like, oh, man, shit trying to get us to a dime, man, on Main, bro.
I just stood behind him. You can't even see me. Like, you got it.
But, bro, he ain't flinch or nothing, looked straight at him and told him, your mama. I'm like, dang, bro.
Hey, that's a heck of an answer there.
I
Hey,
mean,
I bet.
totally unexpected. You know what I mean? For real. I mean, but
So what, you just tired of people asking that question?
Man, I
or
mean,
what?
you know, now to the point, bro. You know, I feel like it's my duty, you know, to answer intelligent
check
questions.
somebody.
Well, now you know I'm a much nicer person in my old age. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you saying at that point? You
Yeah, at
was
that
just-
point I was
Oh,
just. I mean, I was
okay.
working at the county. You know what I'm saying? I've been this with
bro,
kids
at that
all
time,
day.
bro, he was curling 100 pounds. Curling 100.
I want to ask him now, but I don't want to say
For real,
because I ain't
man.
got no answer back. All right, mama, you finna get bench pressed.
Nah, real talk, dog. I mean, but I think everything that you've gone through kind of transitioned you and getting you ready for the next chapter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, absolutely, and that's what I'm working on now, man. Is the next chapter. It's always the next chapter.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe in recreating yourself, and not keep doing the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah,
Until you know it decides that it don't want to do it no more. You gotta decide, and you gotta take control. Like, okay, I've been doing this long enough. Now let's recreate it. And let's change it and make it something new.
Yeah.
I mean, did you think or see, like, where you at now when you was younger? Did you have any idea that you would be doing even half of the stuff you did?
No clue, bro. Even competing back to that. So, So, like I said, I always went to the gym, and it got to a point where I was the strongest dude in the gym. I was, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Man,
I was,
what fun is
I was the
that?
strongest. I can bench more than everybody. I can squat more than everybody. So it was like, dang, I'm
Just
At
accomplished.
your max, like what was those numbers?
Oh man, at my max, I think incline bench I was like 585. Flat bench, I think I was like
Ooh-wee.
a 6. Deadlift, probably like 7 something. Squat, probably around the same. And that's when I was just, it was just it consumed my life.
Yeah.
Like everything revolved around eating, everything revolved around my gym time, and I was just, and it kept my mind busy, and it always kept me with something to think about. I was always thinking about my next meal. I was always calculating calories.
So how long you be in the gym?
Now, maybe, I can get a good workout in 45 minutes.
Cause I went to the gym one time. One of my he had me in there for about 3 hours. I left. I was like, bro, I can't, bro. It's like 2. I'm like, we been in the gym for 2 hours, and he pumped. He like, bro, we just getting started. I'm like,
Nah.
man. Nah.
So 3 hours was to me that's an overkill because a lot of people don't understand like the recovery is a more important process than the actual gym. Like yeah, you can hit the gym, you can be in there all day, but but you got to be able to recover. Like the time you spend outside of the gym is just as important as the time inside the gym, if not more. Because once you come out of the gym, now you got to recover. Now you got to sleep. Now you got to eat. Now you got to make sure you're eating the right things.
Yeah.
But once you're in the gym, a good workout shouldn't take you no more than 45 minutes. And I'm talking about, 3 sets, minimum rest, 30 to 45 seconds, a minute at the most rest in between sets, and then just going back at it and keep going and keep that momentum going throughout the entire workout. But, for most people, it's hard for them because they can't go get through the pain threshold. And I'm like, that pain threshold is part of it. You know what I'm saying? That's just, it comes with it.
So how many sets do you recommend?
So for me, man, I'll do like 3 sets.
3 sets of 10?
Or 10 but see, that's another thing too. Like people always ask me for like how many reps, and I'll just be like, all of them. I don't know how to answer that question, so that's why I don't.
However many you could do.
Yeah,
huh?
that's what I'm saying. Like go until you can't go no more.
So literally push.
Literally go until failure. Go until you can't go no more.
Interesting.
Go until failure.
So if I drive to the gym, how do you expect me to drive home? If I were to do this,
Noodle leg.
nah, real talk, bro.
But see, you work your way up to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but once you start putting a number in your head, you're gonna always stop at that number. Even if you put the number 10 in your head, and you can get 15 more. You're gonna stop at that 10.
Yeah.
You always. So that's why I try to tell people: don't put limitations on what you can do, because those numbers are limitations, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's a good outlook on life too, though.
Right.
For real.
Right.
For real.
And so, great point, because I use that same analogy, towards life. I never put limitations on myself. I'll just do it. Just do it, and if it don't work, oh well, try something else.
You run too, or you just?
So I run occasionally, especially when I'm on the range. I do
Bro,
a
he
lot
can
of
dunk,
running.
bro. Like, bro, when I seen this big old joker dunk, I was like, bro, what type of person, like, who made this? You know what I'm saying? Man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro is an amazing dude, bro. Real talk, man. For real.
Yeah, so
I didn't expect that one.
I do. So, matter of fact, that was the kids. The kids didn't think I can dunk, and
I would have bet you. I'd have put some money on it, man. You can't dunk.
Cause bro, like when you see a dude his size, you be like,
Yeah.
man, bro can't, man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, when he dunked it, I was like, oh man, this dude, yeah. Did I just feel the ground shake? For real. But I mean, shoot, it really got you ready for like the next chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as security. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right, right.
When you doing like for the celebrities and everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you enjoy that?
How
Um,
did you get into that?
so I was actually so I actually went to an EP school in LA. Um, and it
What's an
wasn't
EP school?
so executive protection.
Oh, okay, okay.
So they got a whole school out there. You
Oh,
go through
okay.
the course, go through the it's an academy really. You go through the academy, you stay
Oh,
there for
wow.
30
Like on some
days.
giant bun stuff?
Kind of, but for me, I wanted to see where I was amongst my peers, and that's kind of why I still go to courses today, just to see where I'm at amongst my peers and amongst the people in this industry that's doing what I'm doing. I'm always looking to like compete, you know what I'm saying, just to see where I'm at, and so that's
So
that.
you're really a professional.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that's why that's what really helped me start this journey was going to that academy, and once I went to that academy, I graduated #1 in the class, and that kind of gave me my confirmation that I need. Like, okay, I see where I'm at now. And then once I did that, and um, I came back to Texas. Then I went to another course. A friend of mine, he owns the Israeli Tactical School. So I went out there and trained with him for a couple of months.
That's when you told me you were going over there and like bodyguarding like a king or.
Well, no, this was in Florida,
Okay.
and the guy that owns this company is ex Israeli Secret Service. I mean, he's
So you just for
he's
man,
one of them
that's so
guys.
you just went around just getting training for
Right. That's what I did, bro. That's what I did. Listen,
haven't actually guarded nobody yet, but getting the training.
that's it.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
I took an entire year and just went from different training schools, different ones. Just
How was you paying for this? Because I know it wasn't free.
yeah, what the money was going
For real, bro.
It's just
Like,
training. Because I don't get no free training. Like every class I clicked on, it costs.
Yeah, no, it definitely was expensive, but I just looked at it as an investment, into
for
myself. I was just just going and learning so many things from so many different people.
Did you know what type of security you want? Like, did you have a plan or you would just.
So so number one, I wanted to get the training first. That's what I wanted to do to make sure I was well rounded in that aspect. And once I knew that I was on top of my game as far as the training, now was to network. Now was to get out and meet the people that's gonna help me get to those jobs. And so that's what got me into it. Just going to different training events and meeting people. And once you meet certain people, and they be like, "Bro, I like you. I like the way you train. I like, you're serious about what you do. How about you tag along?
Okay.
We go to this next." So that's how it starts. It's
Crazy.
just pretty much word of mouth.
yeah.
Like, bro, I've been watching you. You're a good dude. Let's, how about you come join me on this gig? So, and that's what happened. And man, I didn't. A lot of my clients, you wouldn't even know who they are, but they're on Forbes, because they, I mean, you have the Uzis and the Fabs and
Yeah, because you went viral for Fab.
yeah,
Bro was on your road, you know what I'm saying? For real.
yeah. So you
even
have
made,
them.
You even made another officer that I know that was in that video. He be reposting it, talking about, yeah, my price just went up too.
Real talk. Yesterday's prices,
Yeah,
not today's
Nobody
price.
in that photo price is the same.
Right, nobody.
5 years,
Yeah.
the other officer, the little dude in the behind you.
Yeah.
Everybody.
The driver
price-
too.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how you link up with Uzi, man? Because, I mean, I done seen you everywhere with him. Like, how is that whole experience, like, to be around a mega star like that, bro? Because, I mean, he's not just your average rapper. He's like a pop artist type
Yeah,
situation.
yeah.
He's definitely a rock star, bro. Like they go crazy over Uzi. He has a core fan base that loves him to death, and the crowds are crazy. That's the majority, is just crowd control. Like, I think maybe once I have to like rough somebody up, but the majority is just like, kids, you know, trying to come.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Even when he had like the little $5 million, how much he paid for the little
it
diamond?
was a couple of million.
Yeah,
It was a couple
he
of
had
million.
I know some millions.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember exactly.
Like,
how
I
much.
mean, like, to actually have the ability for a person to walk around with you and actually feel safe with $1 million and something on their forehead.
Yeah, no, he definitely, man, and you know, I definitely cut for Uzi, bro. No matter what everybody say about it, he gave me opportunity that nobody else, you know, like he had me in certain rooms, bro. Like, you know, I'm just sitting in the corner.
Who was the first celebrity or high powered client that you had?
So the most famous would be Uzi. Uzi would be the most famous, but
Bro, he going around the world for sure.
But I've worked with, like I said, people from Forbes and like
Well, who was the first one that
Bill
you
Gates
remember?
Foundation.
Yeah.
So I mean,
When you was like, all right, because I know you did like a year where you were just training, but then when was your first like real good big job? Or
Uzi
so
was the first big one, and I pretty much knocked it out the park. I was with him for a while.
So he ain't letting you go, low key.
Well, you know, so I mean,
he on retainer like
I mean, in that industry, you know, it's a revolving door. You might get a call back, you might not get a call back, but it's business. You know,
Right.
When you're in that industry, you can't take nothing personal. It's all business.
Yeah.
And smoke and mirrors. You know, so you can't. Some of the relationships you might think you've made, you can't take them too personal because at the end of the day, it's just business.
Yeah.
That's one thing I tell a lot of kids about the music industry, because a lot of kids are hitting me up. Hey, you know, I got these beats for Uzi. Hey, I got this, you know, mixtape for Uzi, and I'm like, bro, that's not how this works.
Yeah,
bro.
you been in a lot. Hey, Uzi, here, he like, you know what? Don't call him no more.
And even then, and this is what I tell people too. Like, for a year straight, I was in the studio with Uzi every night.
Oh, you got a work ethic like that?
Yeah. So
like you are in the gym, he is in the studio.
He in the studio.
So hey, kids out there, you heard it from the man himself, man. You know what I'm saying? Hard work pay off. You could do it too.
In the studio every night, bro. He never missed a session, bro. Never missed a session. Even if we traveled, we went to LA, be in the studio with LA. You know, we would call Mike Will made it, and you know, a bunch of guys to the studio. They'll play us some beats, and he was always making songs. Bro, I've heard so many songs from Uzi that people will never hear because his work ethic, bro, and what he hears and how he makes a song. I mean, it made me realize that he's really talented, bro. Like seeing it, but most people, they'll see him on stage with a purse, and I'll get all the messages like, "What's up with your boy?" And I'm like, "Listen,
nah," because I reached back and saw some of his old stuff before he became the megastar that he is today. Bro, really lyrical. Bro, be spitting.
I got him in my playlist. It's one of his freestyles. He was just going off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, Uzi Vert going on like this?
Yeah, he's got some records. I don't know if they ever come out, but I've heard a few records. And I was like, you know, but the industry is gonna keep you where they want you at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna unless you got the wherewithal to do everything independently and do it on your own. If you leave it up to the industry, they're gonna find you a box to put you in. And that's where you're gonna stay. But like I said, man, he works, man. He's in the studio every night making songs.
Man, shout out to Lil Uzi.
Yeah, shout out to Uzi, man. Real talk. That's crazy work, dog. I mean, then you end up being with Fab. Like, how you hook up with Fab, man? I've been with jamming FOB low, you know what I'm saying, since I was a wee child wearing big throwback jerseys. You know what I'm saying, man?
His mixtapes too, man.
For real.
I'm big on his underground. I like his mixtapes.
Yeah. Usually there's a network of us that kind of, you know, we got like a little group that we kind of network. So whenever clients are moving through certain cities, we'll drop it in. Hey, I'm coming here.
Okay.
Who's available?
Okay.
Things of that nature, and you just let them know if you're available, and and in this little group, everybody's pretty much on the level of they've worked with celebrities or they're currently working with celebrities.
Right.
So it's not like we just pick a random guy and be like, hey, bro, we need you over here because it's a reason why we don't. Because I've seen it. You get a guy or you be like, hey, bro, I need you for the night. I ain't got nobody else. Just stand here in this section and make sure nobody bother the
And
client.
they messed that up.
And they got cameras taking pictures of themselves and the client. I'm like, bro, you gotta,
Yeah, I ain't
Where's
gonna-
your professionalism?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Cause we do that as cops too.
Professionalism.
We-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that
Keep
as
it
cops
B,
too.
baby.
We got our little group and we know who to send. You'll get that phone call. I mean, I done did some pretty interesting people. I remember I did Sexy Red and I told her manager straight up, I was like, she gonna be a star. And he said, come here, Sexy. This after I had walked her through it because I met at a hotel and then took her to, followed her in the SUV that they was in to the club that she was going to. Then when they were done with that, she got her money, whatever. Then we dipped, and she was like, "Hey, y'all mind if I stop by the store?" I'm like, "Yo, you good?" I mean, so they stopped by the store. While we was at the store, I told the man straight up. I say, "Man, she gonna be a star." He was like, "You think so?" He said, "Come here." He called her over here. He said, "Tell her what." I said, you gonna be a star." She started laughing. I was like, "Nah, I mean."
Like you say,
I
Sexy
can
Red
see
for
it.
president, huh?
You can see it, bro. You see
Yeah.
it. I seen the same thing in the I forget the girl with the curly afro.
Which one? Ice Spice?
Lotto, not Ice Spice, yeah.
Ice Spice. When I first seen her in the studio, bro, it was just something about it. They got an aura about them, bro. The way they carry themselves.
Yeah.
It's an energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like she gonna be a star.
And I guess from us not looking, cause we ain't trying to be in their light, so we can see it better.
Right.
We ain't super fan dog. We just like we done been around, dealt with so
Yeah.
many people. We like, that's what I say, man. Stay out of trouble. Focus on your bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got
But
it.
see,
you know what I'm
you got a pretty good ear for it too, cause you was doing the managing thing for a little while.
Well, yeah, that's
you know
true
what I'm saying?
too. You know,
I
I
mean,
did
cause
do-
shoot, we went on a couple tours, you know what I'm saying, state to state type things ourselves. You know, I really enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But I know I wasn't the type of person that liked the limelight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I always like the background. You feel me?
Yeah.
I like moving incognito. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's what I do. Like, but see, what I admire about y'all doing, like I still have to go to my day job. My day job allows me to be able to do that.
Right,
But like
right,
sometimes, like man, maybe I should get into just straight personal security. But at the
Well,
same,
you gonna have to hit the gym, my boy.
yeah, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. I was just like, I'm not finna take a year off just to go train. I was watching.
I don't think the wife gonna let you do that. Huh? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's definitely a certain amount of dedication because I'm at the range at least once a week, and the rest of the time I'm dry firing. I'm magazine changes. I'm just handling that weapon. And then if I'm not doing that, I'm at the gym. And if I'm not doing that, I'm working with my striking coach, you know, my Muay Thai coach, my Jiu-Jitsu coach. And it's just, and that brings me to, something that we're starting is, we call it the three pillars of self-defense. And that's being able to fire a weapon, it's being able to defend yourself with your hands, and then it's also knowing when to do all those things, you know what I'm saying? And the medical part of it, right? And that's why I tell people too, like, anybody can take a life, but what are you gonna do when you have to save a life?
Right.
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
You know, that's what a lot of especially in our community, bro, and I tell people this all the time, like the number one killer in the black community is heart disease.
Yeah.
Right? And what's the first thing they teach you how to stop a heart? How to start a heart, right? CPR.
Yeah.
Man,
the average person don't even know 30 compressions.
The average
and then
person
once you start,
don't know
you can't stop until somebody relieve you.
Because I've seen too many times, bro, something happen, everybody just stand over them and watch.
I remember when we was at what's that club in Third? Well, off Alameda.
Oh, when bro got shot on live,
My
yeah,
partner, he worked for HFD. It was all over the news. It was what about 5 6 years ago.
yeah.
But we in the club, you know what I'm saying, and club popping. You and did we hear the shots? I don't even know if we heard the shots, but we just
I think
club
you told me you heard the shots, but y'all didn't necessarily know
and
what was going on.
right. It was just like what? But next thing you know, dude just laid out on the ground, and like you say, everybody phone out recording.
Yeah.
But my partner, him being with, he already was a firefighter. He looked, he was like, ain't nobody gonna help him, and he was like, Drew, come on. And I ain't gonna lie, if split second, I wasn't even a cop then.
You was
You
an
know what I'm
EMT
saying?
at the time.
Huh?
You was EMT, huh?
I was an EMT,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm like, I'm out partying, I'm drinking, I'm minding my business. Like, I mean,
yeah.
but it's a lot of things in that one night. That's really one night when I decided to be a cop too, cause so it was so much stuff happened for so many different people in that one night. It was life changing night for so many people.
Yeah,
So
I can imagine.
I'm sitting there, I'm kind of like, but when the homie like, hey, come on, we finna say this, and just like he gave the order to save somebody, and so I just followed him. I'm like, all right, so he get on the ground, he doing chest compressions, and he telling me what to do. Which I'm an EMT, I kind of know this, but at the same time, you know, even from policing to what you doing to EMT, when somebody else take the initiative to be the leader, the best thing to do is just go with what they
Right.
telling you, so you don't have to think too deep into it. So he had already made it up in his mind that he wanted to save the man life.
Right.
But he just telling me what to do, and I'm doing whatever he say. Whether it's chest compressions, take your shirt off, wrap this, do this. I'm doing whatever he telling me to do, and boom, boom, boom. So then it was almost on some bad, like going back, and it's almost on some bad boys too. When he look up and he was like, call HFD, down there, one down there. And so another chick called on the phone, and they were like, okay, they on the phone. He was like, he gave his numbers. They was like, what? He was like, I'm a firefighter and I work for HFD. They gonna get here in like a minute if you give them my number. And everybody around like you know, he looking at like he actually. So then they get there and like boom. So they come, put him on the ground. But because he did that, to this day, that dude's still living.
Right.
Had he not went out there and did that, but then from my perspective, when I thought to be a cop at that instant, a dude that used to be an EMT show up on scene. And he moving everybody out the way. And I was so shocked that he was a cop now. I'm talking to him like the homie. I'm like, hey, what up, bro? He was like, move. And I felt some kind of way. I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, this the homie. He was like, not right now. We got more important business to do. Was you involved? And he handling it as it's a scene. He like, was you involved? Who did this? Who did that? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, he acting, you know. But that's why I had to transition and understand now. I was like, people think that they know you or something. Like, no, this is my job. Like, I'm out there hanging out one. And so as days passed after that, I called him and was like, hey, bro, like, I did feel some kind of way, but I mean, he started laughing. I was like, bro, because I literally like have went out of town with him and stuff. Like, we kicked it. Yeah. But he didn't handle me like we was partners. Right. He handled me like it was a scene. So I was like, bro, but honestly, I like what you did, bro. Like, you know, put me on. And he told me everything it is to do or whatever. And we, you know, I went from that with my career. But yeah, the dude's still living. But it's like what you saying, though, knowing at the split moment how to save a life. Right. You know, it's because what happened, they were playing in the car with a gun in front of the club.
I seen that.
And then it went
the
off.
Girl shot the gun.
And the girl shot him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And
hey man, that's why you shouldn't be playing with these weapons, man. Not for real. Like, and that's the next thing I want to actually talk to you about. You know what I'm saying? Gun safety. You know what I'm saying? With a lot of these kids playing with guns and all this type of stuff.
You know, and this is the number one. This is the number one rule that I tell my students. There's no such thing as an accident. You can't accidentally put bullets in the magazine. You can't accidentally put the magazine into the pistol. You can't accidentally put a round in the chamber. None of these things are done by accident.
It's definitely intentional.
It's intentional. You can't accidentally pull the trigger. It just doesn't happen, right? So, for example, you take, there's been a couple of incidents where you have like 2 or 3 year olds that find weapons and they end up shooting their siblings or shooting somebody, right? So you take a 2 or 3 year old child that that's never had any type of gun training whatsoever. But they found this gun, but somehow instinctively they know if I pull this trigger hard enough, something's gonna happen. They don't know the extent of what's gonna happen or the outcome. They don't know the extent because their undeveloped mind can't think past just pulling this trigger back as hard as they can, right? But now it's hard for me to believe that an adult that knows what this weapon will do, but they'll still point it and somehow pull that trigger and say it's an accident. And what I always say, there's no such thing as an accident. It's only negligence, right?
Right.
You're just negligent. But you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there's no accident about it. It's just the negligent and just not being safe.
So do you think children should be taught gun safety? Because I know a lot of people teach their kids. but not all.
So,
Like my daughter asked me, matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, she's 16, she's in ROTC at the school or whatever, and she was like, I want to learn. But I kind of been, I don't know, maybe you'll help me with this.
I mean,
process.
so what I tell parents, you know your child. You know your child a lot better than I know your child. And I've had parents that say, hey, I want you to train my child tactics, and I'm like, I can't train them tactics because their mind is not going to be able to understand what I'm telling them. They can't understand what it means, like certain tactics. Now, I can tell them to be safe all day, tell them the basics, and tell them to be safe and practice on being safe. But once they leave me and get out of my sight, or once they leave the parents and get out of your sight, then it's up to them to make those decisions.
Yeah, because when you with your friends, you're a totally different
Right.
person.
But see, and so this can go two different ways. You can raise a child around weapons that knows, okay, I need to stay around weapons. So when their friend comes around, hey y'all, look what I just found. Either they're going to be like, you know what, I got to get away from y'all because I know and I've been taught that that's dangerous. Or they can be like, check this out, look what I can do.
Yeah.
So
Like an old boy that teaches little kids how to unload the gun with the tattoos in his face. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, I've seen him. I don't know
Yeah.
his name, though, but I know you talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. And
So
his
that-
kids are like 5 and 6 when he started training them.
So that can go two different ways. Like I said, it can go to, you can be like, they can see guns and be like, you know what, I want to be safe. I know you're not safe. Let me get away. Or you can be like, hey, let me show you what I know. And so now that leads to them touching the gun that they don't know where it came from. So you just gotta teach kids, and to the point where they're comfortable around guns, but they know the dangers and they know what to do and what not to do. But as
Derek
far as
Grace,
like,
my bad. His name just came to my head, Derek Grace.
Yeah.
but as far as like training them to like shoot, I mean,
But he not just teaching them that, like he teaching them other things about life and
right.
what I'm
But
saying?
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So I mean, that sounds good.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
would, like, did you ever teach your son anything with guns or your children? Well, how many kids you got?
I got two boys. One goes to college in Prairie View, and the other
PV.
one,
You know.
and the other one he's stationed in Camp Pendleton. And,
So did you teach them at a young age?
I
guns?
didn't teach them at a young age, but I didn't hide guns from them.
Okay.
I never went out of my way to lock my guns up. They knew what
Right.
This is a killing machine.
See, I ain't gonna lie. I found my mama gun in the closet, and I was acting like I was on Men's Society. Hey, homie, you need some help? You know what I'm saying? Like Lil Wayne end up shooting himself. I'm playing in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Draw down. But
Now that you say that, though, what he's saying do make sense,
Yeah,
though.
real
The
time.
accident part, because I remember I found my mom and daddy had a 38, and I'm snooping in that room. I really was just, I don't know, kid stuff.
Kids,
Because now that I got kids, I'm like, why y'all in my room? Why y'all you see stuff?
probing. That's what my mama called it. Probing.
Being nosy.
So I'm probing, being nosy, and I found a 38. You know what I'm saying? And it was hidden very well. But I mean, I'm just looking for stuff. But anyway, I cocked the hammer back. But what you saying is real, because at that moment it was an oh shit moment.
Yeah.
And I, like you say, I had a choice to make. I could have squeezed it, or I didn't know nothing about no guns.
You ain't know how to get the bullet out the chamber.
But one thing I did know, common sense, I put it back. I called him. Hey, he went off. I got in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Daddy, I'm sorry, but this is what I just did. I found it. I wasn't even here looking for that. I really was just trying to get some shoes and just, he was like, why the,
Yeah.
He said, what'd you do with it? I said, I put it back. He said, leave it there. Don't touch it. Don't do nothing with it. I mean, now that I know guns, I'm like, I could have dismantled it or whatever, without having to squeeze it. But at the time, I was so scared and nervous because once I don't know, I just found it. I'm looking at it. Then I pull the hammer back and you hear click. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, if this mug go off, I just sat it back down, called them, but, that's a very problem. It wasn't me finding it and picking it up. Finding it was an accident, but picking it up wasn't no accident. Holding it wasn't no accident. Pulling the hammer back wasn't no accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Only accident I stopped, I put it back. Like, hey, but it's too many cases where kids keep going and it ain't no accident. You wanted to squeeze that trigger.
Yeah.
I ain't mean to shoot him.
Right.
And I know you hear that all the time as an officer.
What, man? Come on, man. I've had some cases, bro, and it just don't. I had to sit on the stand one time and kind of address that issue. Innocent bystander got hit.
Yeah.
And the lawyer was pretty good on me. The lawyer was kind of, that's their job. You pay a lawyer, and the lawyer was like, if you protecting your life, you had a right to squeeze, don't you? And I was like, I am trained that every time I squeeze this trigger and every bullet come out this gun, I'm 100% responsible for that. That's what I'm trained to do. Right. So if my eyes are not on my intended target and I don't have a good sight, and I shoot a cat, a dog, somebody's window, I shoot, another person.
Right.
Like, I get held accountable for everything that I hit that I did not intend to hit.
Right.
Because at that point, you know what I'm saying, you don't fall off of instinct. You go to your training.
Right. Yeah, right. You're supposed to go there, and that's why he's saying you should practice all the time, unholstering, squeezing, dry firing, aiming sights, whatever. And if,
So like what Major Payne was doing, see, I gotta go back to Major Payne. You know what I'm saying? Major Payne would clean this gun upside down, hanging from the feet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, man.
For real, man. Major Payne, that was my boy. Dog.
But that's what still, like, I just never understand, like, people shooting in the crowds or I would never, even when it's been going on for, as much as we want to stop it.
They've been doing drive-by shootings, you know what I'm saying, since I know, the 30s, 20s, you know what I'm saying, Machine Gun Kelly.
They just had those three to shut up the black party on the north side.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that, man. Like, you just, all of a sudden, you just shoot up a whole block, innocent people. I just don't get that.
I don't get it either. And I think people that do that should be prosecuted to the highest.
But the crazy thing about that, man, I know a couple of people, matter of fact, you even know the kid that they was aiming for, but we ain't gonna say no names. You know what I'm saying? But
talking about that block party?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, we actually know the kid. We done worked with the kid that they was actually aiming for. They didn't hit him.
Of course,
he's still walking around.
Oh, so
right
they came out saying that they actually had an intended target. Right.
Gotcha, me, you know what I'm saying? Being where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? I know, but also all of the cats that was in the car, all of them were actually captured, you know what I'm saying? And they locked up right now, but we have some lives that was, you know what I'm saying, taken in the process, you feel me?
Innocent for no reason, bro. And I mean, and it's no excuse. No matter. I mean, of course, you're gonna always have people that try to defend it and come out with, but there's no excuse for that. It's just.
And it's crazy because even with being like, I think you talked about this on the previous one of our other ones. But like being an officer, if I pull somebody, like I pull you over and you know what I'm saying, and you either show me an ID that you're officer or you like, hey man, I got my gun in the car, man. I'm not worried about you. You know what I'm saying? I'm already knowing you a law-abiding citizen. And for you to, it be the ones that don't want to tell you, they fidgeting, they moving around, they trying to hide it. And it's like, but my point with that is people who, practice having their guns.
Yeah.
They legally have their guns. It's cool. It's just the people who.
I don't know, Drew. One time I was at a little old, you know what I'm saying? I probably was somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna say exactly where I was, you know what I'm saying? But a raid ended up happening, you feel me? Bro, I had a brand new white t-shirt on, you feel me? They like, everybody get on the ground. I'm like, bro, I just got this shirt, bro. Like, you feel me? Then I thought about it. I'm finna get on the ground and say, hey, I got my tool on me. And he like, what? You got what? I said, man, I got a license. I got a CAT.
I think I'd have just jumped on the ground. They'd have to find that on their own.
Right.
Hey, man,
That's
I ain't want to get my white t-shirt dirty,
Listen,
man.
and I've learned that too. Being with law enforcement, working with law enforcement, if once they're in that mode, you just got to go with it. You know what I'm saying? You'll figure everything out later.
Was he gonna buy me a new white tee?
Hey man,
man.
If that's your biggest concern,
Yeah, right. If that's your biggest concern.
At that time, hell
I might
yeah.
have to just give you whatever you want. Oh, we'll take you in this clean white tee downtown.
Yeah.
Not when I show him that license.
It's been a couple times. Well, I mean, I rarely get pulled over. I always, matter of fact, I was with a client on Saturday, and we was driving by, and HPD had some cats. Hemmed up, all four doors open, trunk popped. And so I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, man, they really had to be doing something to get them people attention, though, for them to do all that. Because usually, Houston is busy. It's more important stuff to do. So every time I've got pulled over, bro, I have this thing, I roll down all the windows to my truck, roll down all the windows, so when they walking up, they can clearly see everything in the vehicle, and my hands are clear where they can see them.
Yeah.
And then usually when they come, they talk to me, have a conversation, they be like, all right, bro, you good.
Nah, you telling the truth, because I tell people all the time, as I'm taking them, I'm like, bro, you think or female with I was eating nachos, laughing on the phone with my wife, and then this call drop. Like, if I'm taking you to jail, you really then did something. And it's
for me knowing you, you had to be doing something for him to just really take you down, man.
I swear I be cursing all the way to the call. Like, what the man, I ain't got, man.
Yeah.
So it's times where, you show up and I've literally had to tell people, bro, can you be quiet? Like, you know what I'm saying? The more you talking, the more you moving, the more you creating something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I get there first and I know who my backup is. Yeah. I'm like, y'all need to chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro, gonna get worse.
Y'all need to chill out. And they don't listen. They're like, Officer Scott was cool. I tried to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
They don't respect cool. They try to take advantage of cool.
I'm like, hey, man.
Man, see, not like that, man. Most of the time, I done got pulled over by police ladies. I remember one time I got pulled over, man. A bee flew in the car. A bee flew in the car, man. I was like, boy, no national security. Blue bee. I hop out the car. I'm like, it's a bee in the car. She just started laughing. I'm like, man,
hey, that's crazy.
For real, man. I got some wild stories now that I look back at it, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Nah, I done had some. It is crazy, man. Like, I done had some cops pull me over. I remember one dude. I was like, "Man, can I get a warning?" He was like, "Well, he say, I wouldn't have pulled you over if I had intentions on giving you a warning." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "If I stopped you, getting a ticket."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's like, He say, all these cars going, they getting warnings. I'm like, he's like, if I stop you. I'm like, man, now that this was way before I was a cop, though. Now I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'll sit there and see cars. Pew, pew. Then there's always that one, and I'm like, let me go ahead and get them.
Yeah. Nah, real talk, man.
You're right.
That's crazy work. Man, Shep, bro, we got to have you back on the show again, man. Please do not let this be the last time you come visit.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But we're going to conclude it for the night.
Hold up. What's one thing before you go? What we need to... You know, what you got going on, or what's a statement you want to make, or like
Please,
what's
get
something
the
you
youth
need
some
you know,
news they can use,
Yeah.
man.
Man, listen, I got some everything going on. Working on a school opening academy right now. That's what we're working on. We got a combat conditioning program at Condition One Combat Center in spring. So
Okay.
if you're looking to join something, so you can learn how to use this pistol intelligently, knowing when to use it, how to use it. I mean, I'm taking these ladies and gentlemen through everything from shooting out of windshields, learning what the ballistics of the bullet does once it goes through the windshield,
What's your
coming
handle? What's your
in, coming
website?
out.
I need to know that.
So I am Scary Guns. That's my IG, Orlando Shepherd on Facebook. So if you hit me on one of those, then I'll respond, and you know, and we can get you settled, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
Same thing with Diet Gym Info. Hit me up on the gram. You know, I give a lot of this information out for free, bro. Especially when it comes to the gym, because you know I'm not into training people like I used to, so I just give out the information for free, bro. I mean, you know, it is what it is. And a quote that I'll leave you with is, if you train for nothing, then everything has a possibility to kill you.
So don't just be training with that TV remote going on and off, you know what I'm saying? Picking up that spoon, doing, you know what I'm saying, spoon ups, you know what I mean? Go on, get you some pull ups in, all this, that, and the third, man. But you heard what the man said, you know, you're going to lean on your training, work hard on a day-to-day basis, you know what I'm saying? That shit, we're going to say peace, love, and happiness.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Keep it P, baby.
He will. He's done it again.
Quick conversations with King Drew Million. Quick conversations with King Drew Million. Quick conversations with King Drew Million.
Quick conversations with King Drew Million.
Let's chop it up.